Hello everyone, you're watching News Mongolia on MNB World. It's Thursday, September 14th. I'm Batsetseg. Our top stories for News Mongolia. 100% of wheat and potatoes and more than 80% of food vegetables will be provided domestically. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Batsetseg, had official talks with Minister of Foreign Affairs of Australia, Penny Wong. Citizens in Dundgovi province requested the expansion and construction of new educational and cultural facilities. For the news, stay tuned. The regular cabinet meeting convened on September 13, 2023, and saw the comprehensive discussion and resolution of several significant issues. Minister of Food, Agriculture and Light Industry, Cholong, delivered a comprehensive report on the initial harvest projections.
During the cabinet meeting, Minister of Food, Agriculture and Light Industry, Cholong, delivered a presentation on the preliminary harvest balance. The preliminary balance sheet for the 2023 harvest was presented during the government meeting. Additionally, the government issued a decree regarding the establishment of strategic food reserves. This year, a total of over 500,000 tons of grain were harvested, with 480,000 tons of it being wheat. If we can successfully complete the harvest in a race against time, we will not need to import wheat from abroad, effectively meeting our country's needs by 100%. Furthermore, we are set to fully satisfy the domestic demand for potatoes. The preliminary balance indicates that we are expecting to harvest 165,000 tons of vegetables and 65,000 tons of oilseeds. Over 10,000 students will be participating in the harvest efforts. A resolution for the creation of strategic food reserves as per the food law has been approved. These strategic food reserves encompass essential products such as wheat, flour, milk and water. The directive mandates the establishment of food supply reserves at all stages of production and distribution. According to the initial assessment, the following quantities are expected to be harvested: wheat approximately 480,000 tons, potatoes around 165,000 tons, vegetables roughly 165,800 tons, oilseeds approximately 64,800 tons, fodder plants about 225,600 tons, and fruits an estimated 5,000 tons. This forecast indicates the potential to meet 100% of the domestic wheat and potato demand, as well as 81.3% of the vegetable requirement from homegrown products. Notably, the wheat production is anticipated to increase by 79,000 tons, vegetable production by 25.7 thousand tons, animal feed by 67.2 thousand tons, and fruits and vegetables by 1,000 tons. The introduction of innovative wheat seed technology has resulted in a remarkable increase in unit yield, up by 3.9 quintals per hectare, or more than 30% compared to the previous year. This improvement also brought about enhanced quality standards, marking the highest unit yield achieved in the last decade. The increase in vegetable production by 18.3% compared to the previous year is attributed to various measures, such as incentives for vegetable sales, seed support, and technical subsidies. These developments reflect significant progress in the agricultural sector and underscore the positive impact of innovative approaches and government support in achieving high yields and improving the quality of agricultural produce.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs of Mongolia, Batsetseg, is on an official visit to Australia, September 13th to 14th. The ministry engaged in a productive meeting with the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Commonwealth of Australia, Penny Wong. This diplomatic encounter served as a valuable opportunity for both nations to strengthen their bilateral ties and exchange views on pertinent regional and international matters.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Batsetseg, who is on an official visit to the Commonwealth of Australia, held substantive discussions with her Australian counterpart, Minister Penny Wong, on September 13th. The two foreign ministers conducted a comprehensive assessment of the current state of relations and cooperation between Mongolia and Australia, highlighting the momentous occasion of celebrating the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations between two nations last year. They expressed their satisfaction with the vibrant development of cooperation across various sectors and the flourishing people-to-people ties within their extended partnership. Both ministers concurred that, given the extensive nature of their relations and cooperation, elevating the bilateral ties to the status of a comprehensive partnership would be desirable. They pledged to intensify high-level visits and bolster political dialogue in pursuit of this goal. Minister Batsetseg emphasized the ample opportunities to enhance trade, investment and economic relations between the countries, emphasizing potential collaboration in agriculture, culture, tourism and the imminent establishment of a social security agreement.
Today's official meeting with Foreign Minister Penny Wong was very successful and many things were discussed. Among them, we talk about improving the level of our relations, establishing an agreement on air transportation, and establishing an agreement on social security. Also, more than 100 Australian enterprises that participated in the recently held Economic Forum in Mongolia exchanged ideas on how to further support cooperation with Mongolian enterprises and increase political participation and improve women's capabilities.
Minister Penny Wong expressed her confidence that Minister Batsetseg's visit to the Commonwealth of Australia would play a pivotal role in further advancing relations and cooperation between two nations. She also expressed her satisfaction with the deepening of bilateral relations within the framework of the United Nations and other international organizations, with a particular interest in strengthening cooperation in gender equality and addressing climate change. Both parties acknowledged the invaluable contribution of the Australian government scholarship program to Mongolia's human resource development and socio-economic progress. Noting the 30th anniversary of Mongolia's participation in the scholarship program, they decided to increase the number of participating students starting this year. Additionally, they highlighted the effective implementation of the Working and Resting Visa Agreement commencing in 2023 and affirmed their commitment to expanding eligibility. Mongolia expressed gratitude to the Australian government for providing $250,000 to the Mongolian Red Cross Society for flood damage relief in Mongolia. During the visit, a memorandum of cooperation was established between the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Mongolia and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade of Australia. Both sides recognized the significance of this document for mutual consultation on regional and international matters, the exchange and training of diplomats, and the activation of cooperation between the ministries. To conclude the meeting, Minister Batsetseg met with Mongolian students studying in Australia under the Australian Scholarship Program, reaffirming the importance of educational and cultural exchanges between two nations.
Dundgovi province is a potential hub for various pillars of development. The local population believes that the government should prioritize policy support to address social issues. Government representatives have provided explanations, and some arrangements have been made in this regard.
In Dundgovi province, many schools, kindergartens, and cultural institutions are still under construction, primarily due to the financial issues and long-standing technical difficulties. Additionally, it's crucial to build new facilities or expand existing ones. As a result, people in a few homes in Dundgovi province are seeking funding from the state budget and other sources to address these building-related problems. I'm here to speak on behalf of the parents at the Humuluk school. This school has 3 different locations. Students come here from the countryside. While many of these students depend on taxis for transportation, not all parents can afford that cost. In 2012, we began constructing a cultural center, which was intended to have 250 seats, and the cost was budgeted at 1.1 billion MNT. We maintained communication with all delegates and higher-level ministry employees throughout the entire process. However, the project has now been underway for 11 years and it's still not finished. Firstly, we intend to allocate funds to complete the 2 schools currently under construction in Dundgovi by 2024. We also discussed providing the necessary tools for completing the cultural center buildings in phases. Therefore, we will emphasize allocation more in upcoming budgets. Additionally, according to Mongolia's Prime Minister Oyurton, the state budget for 2024 may include funds for the construction of new theater in the region of Dundgovi province. However, all sides agree that the creation of paved road connecting Dundgovi with Chur is important for the entire region, not just for the people who live in Dundgovi province.
If a road is built directly connecting Dundgovi to Chur, it will provide direct access to Chur, covering more than 200 kilometers. without first having to pass through Ulaanbaatar city. This will result in significant cost savings for supply and wholesale operations.
As for the citizens, there is a proposal to implement a policy aimed at establishing livestock processing factories in Soms, ultimately boosting the income of livestock farmers. Mongolia boasts an extensive territory capable of sustaining nearly 100 million animals. I urge you all to prioritize the well-being of our livestock, ensuring essentials like access to drinking water and ample pasture. Recently, there has been increase in hunting of falcons by Arab citizens in certain areas of Dundgovi province. Pastures are being compromised due to influx of numerous cars. Consequently, locals are urging for reduction in the number of falconry hunting permits or a clarification of the boundaries for these activities.
You're watching News Mongolia on MNB World. Now let's take a look at the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Now, let's take a look at international news from our partner agencies. Chinese President Xi Jinping hosted a welcome ceremony for visiting Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro in the square outside the East Gate of the Great Hall of the People in Beijing on Wednesday afternoon.
At the grand welcome ceremony, the military band skillfully performed the national anthems of both Venezuela and China, accompanied by a resounding 21-gun salute that echoed through the air. In the esteemed company of President Xi, President Maduro had the honor of inspecting the Guard of Honor, composed of valiant soldiers from the Chinese People's Liberation Army. Together, the two leaders witnessed an impressive march past of the Guard of Honor, showcasing the discipline and precision of the military. The event was further enriched by an outstanding performance from the military band, exemplifying the musical prowess of the both nations. In a display of camaraderie and diplomacy, First Lady Peng Liyuan and Celia Flores, the wife of President Maduro, were also in attendance at the welcome ceremony, emphasizing the importance of the occasion. Later in the evening, President Xi and First Lady Peng hosted a warm and inviting banquet in honor of President Maduro and his esteemed wife Celia Flores. The event provided a platform for further discussions and exchanges between the leaders and their delegations. President Maduro's state visit to China, graciously extended by President Xi, spans from September 8 to 14th. This visit marks President Maduro's fifth official trip to China during his tenure as president, underscoring the enduring ties between the two nations and their commitment to mutual cooperation and understanding.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you on Friday with more news and updates. Goodbye.